blah 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 disclaimer stuff. I don't know if you've read it before, but like it's here anyway, yada yada. Okay, on with the video now.
There we go. Hello! Welcome back to the Stanley Parable. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. I still don't really know you. You don't know me. Neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. And being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. If I sound weird, it's because I have a cold. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Oh, if you hear like random drillings and stuff, it's the neighbour. I do apologise. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? Maybe that's the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready to do that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Okay. Let's head in. See how many Figglies, or Stanley figures, or whatever you want to call them, you'll find today. Okay, just pick a direction, I suppose.
What could it mean?
Oh,
Stanley decided to go to the
you said something about getting bucket endings as well.
Yes.
So how many of these things have we found now?
Warmth spread
what, figurines?
Yeah, I think we found like 3.
Just, I think 1 or 2 so far. Which way was the boss's office? It's the correct way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Left, so there's 1.
Yes.
Oh. There will be a reward for finding them all. We need more plans. Planks, even.
We need more plans.
Trust the completionist instinct. Ah, just like old times.
Oh, Stanley, you feel it? The broom closet.
The broom
It
closet.
wants the bucket.
It wants the bucket.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy.
The aura
It's as
of
clear as
jealousy.
day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. No. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends.
I take it this is an ending?
That your relationship is purely superficial and
43.
convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through
Bucket loves me, you never did.
Point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Oh, we got it.
Sticker.
There. Now it's
on the bucket.
No more debate,
Stanley.
no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
There are 2 stickers, but I can't be asked.
Oh my god.
Sorry, folks, who wanted the sticker of the bucket on the bucket?
I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Oh, okay, never mind.
There you go.
I feel that it works because the sticker is
also
a bucket.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm
pretty sure.
Stanley and
well,
the
office.
walked upstairs
There
to the
is
office.
An Easter egg.
Down here. There it is. Is it down here?
Is what down here?
I can't remember what staircase it is, but there's a Dallas mask.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This
3 out of 6.
You know, there really must be a snappier name for these
So halfway
things.
there.
What about
Halfway
mini
there.
stands? Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay. We're not going that way. We're going back up. If it will let me.
Yeah, it should let you. You didn't go through the door.
Okay. Let's check the executive bathroom real quick, just in case. Haha, there's one.
Okay, I'm going back to the
Oh, God,
name
that's-
of these little Stanley
that's
figurines.
4.
And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
I think
What
Figgly's.
name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I like Figgly's. What does it say this time? Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Any crisp. Mother's having a good moment out there. Trying to store all the shopping. Well, maybe, possibly, by the sounds of it. Right, okay, this way.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
No, you're talking last
Was
time.
it the bucket knew all along?
Oh, Muse
Was
Dash
the
is what
bucket guiding him?
Translucent is playing today.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So what are we going for now? Oh,
Yeah.
another one.
Where? Ah, yes.
That's
You're
5.
getting
Bloody hell.
close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anurines.
Figler Anurines.
You'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different
Imagine
people
the
by
cat
then.
wants food.
Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anurines. None of us can.
Taste the sequel. Alright. Elevator. Going down.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
No
It would be
randomly going
all
up and
Stanley
down
could
this
do
time.
to keep
Just
himself
you
together,
know.
if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
No,
ahead
everything
through the
will not
large
be
door
fine.
that read
Okay,
Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room
television
packed with
screens.
television screens.
Amazing.
What horrible secret did this
I
place
can't
hold?
remember how to get this
Stanley
exact
and the
ending,
bucket
so I'm
both
hoping
wondered
I
to themselves.
I'll remember it correctly. Is that where I... Yeah, alright. Well... Is that where I'm going? No, I came that way. Alright. So I'm getting I'm getting confused on a linear journey. Cameras.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Okay.
Oh, you got away, haven't you?
No, I'm not going for... Well, I can get that one real quick if you want. Call
No.
in the elevator.
Was the bucket under the mind
what
control
am I doing?
facility's influence as well?
No idea.
Had the bucket been told
I
to
think you
do
only really need
things
to wait
it
for a
didn't
minute.
wish to do? What
Like, call the
kinds
elevator
of
down, but
things
don't
does
go
a
in
bucket
it.
want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
I might be in the right... I don't know if I'm in the right exact spot for this. I think I have to go back. No, I can't go back. Okay. Well, we'll wait here for a little bit and see if anything happens. If not, then I'm continuing.
You're fired.
Ba-do-ba-do-ba-do.
Do Hmm?
Are you gonna do it?
I'll take it.
Oh, now it will let me go back. I think I have to go back.
Well, don't you have to go down the lift? The thing that's glowing red?
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to get the secrets. Ah, screw it. We'll link it either in the description of this one or the last one, if I remember. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. We'll just jump in the elevator
No!
then.
He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Oh, have we made it? Are we there?
But here was
No.
the proof.
Oh.
The heart of the operation.
Mind control status
Controls labeled
offline.
with emotions. Happy
Facility
or
power, that's
sad
what I
or
want to do.
content.
Do you want
Walking,
to double check, make sure
eating,
there's nothing in
working,
here?
all of it monitored and commanded
No, I think
from
this
its
is for a
very
different
place.
ending that we didn't do.
And as the cold
Oh,
reality
no, I meant
of
for, like,
his
the last
past began
collectible.
to sink in,
Ah!
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again
Just-
exert
just in
its
case.
terrible power
don't see
over another
anything.
human life. For he and
Neither,
the bucket
neither do I.
would dismantle
But
the
you've got better
controls
eyesight
for
than
good.
I do anyway.
Two best friends,
Yeah, I don't
Stanley
see
and the
anything.
bucket, up
Yeah.
against the world. They high-fived in a
Mind
really
control
cool way.
idle. Awaiting
The
input.
bucket made a sassy comment about
I
taking down the
think-
system.
You press it. Oh, and
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an
large
image
image
appeared
appeared
upon
on
the
the
enormous
enormous
screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
silly birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for
Penguins.
monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
What was the
The
other
mind
button do?
controls were only a
Or do we not
facade
click that button?
to disguise its
Oh, no, just
true
goes back.
intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands.
Had the
the
metal
one who had
genius.
pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, so ah, it was a hornbill. I like hornbills. Okay, well that's silly birds, everybody.
All
Yay.
his co-workers were gone.
Ow.
What could it mean?
now
Stanley
what?
decided to go to the meeting room.
I'm trying to
Perhaps he had simply
remember.
missed a memo.
Do I get that one or do I not get that one?
It's completely up to you.
Yeah, sure. We don't need the bucket for this one.
Yay.
We need to go to the cargo room.
Yay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Is there anything in the
Yes,
employee
truly a
lounge?
room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour
Nope.
after all, just to spend a few. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the
Ow.
maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I'm gonna go back around. No, damn it.
Yeah, no, you're locked in.
Alright. I just wanted to see if there was a minifigure in there. Okay, fine. We'll go this way then.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley...
Alright. Actually, let's just,
Begin the game again.
yeah. Let's just begin the game. I just wanted to see if there was any figures in there.
All
I
of
didn't
his
want to get
co-workers
locked
were
into it.
gone. What could it
Fine.
mean? Stanley decided to go
okay,
to the
for
meeting
reals
room.
this time.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
Let's
open
not do
door on
that.
his left.
Do it.
Stanley was so bad at
I know we got
following
the,
directions, it's
the one
incredible he
here.
wasn't 5 years
The
ago.
collectible here.
Yes. But there's another thing in this vent if you don't take the bucket with you.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was
Oh,
so
the
far
tape's
off the
skipping.
beaten path that it seemed
Narrator?
the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path
Narrator?
that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path
Narrator?
that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path.
I think you
You
broke the
didn't
game.
think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure
I didn't
shock
realise
at
the
the
cat fallen
phenomenal
asleep.
and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be
Apparently
you.
there's an Elden Ring
Life
history
being
in
an
here somewhere.
unending waterfall of surprises and delights.
But I'm not
How
sure
much more
you're
exciting you
supposed
must
to do
find
it.
the world than the rest of us do.
I think it's behind some
Now I've
boxes, like
become
you're
sad.
supposed
Look what
to.
you've done to me. This is
glitch
all
it.
your fault.
And you're supposed to be able to jump, but because we didn't do the jump circle glitch, never mind, I suppose. Okay, well we got that one. How do I? Okay. No idea how you do that, man.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I was going to do the
Stanley
serious room, but I
decided
don't know
to
how
go
to
the
do that,
meeting room.
so
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
no, not important. Okay, let's pick up the
Stanley
bucket.
picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again. Not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
Right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yes, let's go through the door on the left.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's go downstairs.
Well, downstairs with the bucket.
Downstairs with the bucket.
Well, and see if it gives you something new.
It does.
Oh,
But Stanley just couldn't
I'm
do
just
it.
looking for a
He considered the
ilk content
possibility
warning
of
up the top.
facing his boss, admitting he had left his
You
post
just have to
during
keep
work
running around in
hours. He might
circles.
be fired for
Yep.
that. And in such a
It
competitive
gives you a
economy,
slightly different
why had he taken that
version of the
risk?
ending anyway.
All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then
I'll probably do a
something
timestamp if you just
occurred
want to skip
Stanley.
it.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy?
am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
The
Yes.
bucket returned his gaze, but said
He
nothing.
said nothing at all.
That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He
Well,
held
just
the bucket
bumped
close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and
We don't
comfort.
have to go round and round, we can just
And
sit
that's
there
when
and have
Stanley
the rain talk
realised
to us.
This isn't my bucket. It's just a normal,
seeing if there's a
everyday
figurine
bucket.
down here.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up
doesn't
with
seem
someone
that it
else's
is.
bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely
That's
no
just
good
like-
would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience
bucket's
without
gone.
the psychologically grounding
How could
presence
you?
of his bucket. Indeed. Now he noticed
Right,
the
I'm just gonna
booth
stare at
was
this drink
empty,
machine and
which
let
was,
him
of
narrate
course,
for a
very
bit.
odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to
You must
him.
find the bucket.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket! Could it truly be?
Oh, okay.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket
demon
after the
buckets.
next. None of them were his. None of them
ours
were
should
his
be easy to
special
find. It's got
bucket.
stickers on it.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the
my
only
God,
way to
there's so
truly
many.
restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him.
The real
all
bucket was
along.
inside of him all along.
It was incredibly
It was
painful.
incredibly painful.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked.
Ah, the pain.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Here we go.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled
So the
through
only
town,
difference is the
talking
bucket.
No,
and
wait, there's
screaming
more.
to himself, and then collapsed dead on the
There's
sidewalk.
more.
Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
How the heck do you backflip all the way to work?
In heels.
Yeah, that's like talent, dude. Okay. There's got to be a key I need to press. Okay.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were
New
turned?
dialogue?
He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
New dialogue. Oh, awesome. Right, where the heck is this new Figgly?
The good old
Okay,
bucket.
let's take the bucket.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
And it started again.
Left.
I'm gonna go the other way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Just
Was
check the
this
lounge,
better
see if
than the
it's-
meeting room?
I'm just
Yes,
trying to think of
Stanley
places they
thought to
might
himself.
put
Yes,
the
perhaps
final
it truly
collectible.
was.
Yeah.
How
Well, I haven't done the
insightful
cargo
bucket
room
turned
yet,
out to
so.
be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
It could be down the elevator, but I very much doubt it. Because we've been down there, haven't we?
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay. Let's head on.
Good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Sorry if
But
it's
Stanley
louder
chose
than
not
everything
to
else,
think
by
about
the
this
way.
obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he
What?
unthinkingly did
Exactly.
whatever the bucket asked.
Alright.
In here.
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will
Pick
take
up
us
the
back
phone.
home, where we can go about life together.
You already took out of the socket.
Yeah, but does the bucket do it? Fine, I'll answer the phone.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
This is a story about a man that's
Once upon a
his
time,
bucket.
I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, I'm in charge now. Ah, look at my beautiful home.
Honey, where's my collectible?
Honey, where's my Stanley? Ah, bucket. Hello. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press B to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press M to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing
Don't say
over
that.
an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press B to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket.
see.
It can't think. It can't talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one
all it
location
needs to
to a
do.
different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything
That's
else.
all it needs to do. Don't listen to the loud man.
You see, he's not listening.
Jazz
He's
music.
still taking orders
Story.
from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
It's not stupid. Press H to ignore anyone in your life except for yonder bucket. Yonder bucket
Sad.
moment.
I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a
Oh
little
god,
more,
that's bright.
what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more
Bucket,
capable
where are
of
you?
transporting liquid. Like it would
Honey.
be better at moving an amount of water from
I'm
one
home.
room to another.
Press G to relive the same name with me over and over.
Oh my god, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a
It's a
bucket.
bucket.
It's literally just a bucket.
That's all it needs to be.
Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press X to go home to work to home to work from home. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
I'm having feelings.
Okay.
The bucket.
Okay.
No, no, no,
Candles?
no, no,
Moonlighting.
no, no. What's going on?
Oh, the
Why
door's
do I
open.
want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's
Oh,
wrong
bucket,
with
I didn't
me?
know you
don't
felt that way.
understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
What am I doing?
Stanley, give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need
No,
it.
the bucket loves
Give it to
me,
me
you
now.
don't.
Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Okay, we're just going on a date with a bucket.
How long was I
All
sitting
right.
there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something...
Where are we going today?
Where is this
the
last
bucket asked.
Stanley?
Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him. telling him that the employee lounge was simply the
Hmm.
place to
Let's
be.
try the set of
And
doors.
here it was.
The other set
Had the
of
bucket
doors.
turned out to be correct?
Not
there
the other set of
Never
doors.
mind.
No.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I think this might take me somewhere different than the mind control room.
Yeah.
It might be down here.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
We care about you, Stanley.
You see, your
Oh,
friends
it's
and
this
I are
Andy.
concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just
The broom
sequel
closet.
content. We're the
Ian.
ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like
Adventure
the
Line.
Adventure Line and the Broom
Old
Closet.
friend.
Because
Old buddy, old
that's
pal.
what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket.
I
that
can
they've
actually go
never
in the
seen
broom closet.
before.
Yes.
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
Yes, I do.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new.
Yes, please.
Yes, that's what the fans
Yeah, let's do
want.
that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Adventure Line.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yeah. What's that say? Oh, right. I thought it was something stupid, but it didn't. Adventure Line.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this.
Whoa.
But if we want to do that, you're going
Did
to
it?
have to give
Yeah.
something up.
I take it there isn't any.
Whoa, hi.
We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
Brand new character.
This is the
I don't wanna.
Bucket Destroyer.
I don't wanna.
I
don't
think
wanna.
it'll make a wonderful new addition to the
I'm gonna
rich
look around
lore of the
first.
Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original
bloody
game,
hell?
but it's such a well fleshed out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along.
Let me
Don't
switch
you
it off. Let me switch it off. I don't want it.
Can you guess
don't
what
wanna.
the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley.
Can you
Say
jump in?
goodbye to the bucket, and then pop
Is it
it
only
into
for
the
buckets
machine
only?
when you're ready.
Ah.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do
Bucket
if it can't
Destroyer.
destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so
won't let me
densely
do it.
loaded with
Like, no.
complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry
Is it
and...
still not working? There you go. You must have jumped in.
No, the Bucket Destroyer got angry because we didn't feed it a bucket.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much
Rip in
potential.
peace, Bucket
We were going to
Destroyer.
do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye,
Bye.
new friend.
We won't
For the
miss
moment
you.
in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Okay, so maybe go to the doors without the bucket then and see if it's there? Maybe, possibly? There's gotta be something there, surely. What are we up to?
Oh, we are up to 34.
That's not too
Already
bad,
this
we've
was
got time.
uncomfortable.
Already
And
this is
Stanley
uncomfortable.
decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again.
Sorry, I'm not taking
in
you
his
this time.
life.
That's the only other place I can think.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Nope.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No, it's not. Oh, God.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite
head
door,
down.
and got back on track.
I'm trying to think where else we haven't looked.
I know we haven't done the red and blue door like normally. We've done the intervention, but we haven't
But
done the red
Stanley
and blue
didn't
door
want to
yet.
go back to the
So,
office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
I'm going to take
so
a
now,
look
in order
down
to get back,
here.
he needed to go,
or not.
from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I
I can't remember
thinking?
how I got to the
It's
doors
clearly-
now.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Right, I'm just going to check if there's anything here. I'm not going to do any endings. Doesn't look like it. Alright. I'm going to restart. It's not like actually in the office, is it? Wait.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
We look in
simply
the
missed a
executive
memo.
bathroom. We'll take the bucket over just in case.
A strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We'll listen to you this time. It's not in this room anywhere. And there's no new content. It's not in the broom closet. We
Coming to
went
a
down.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Right, apparently there's a door with this ending. If we do this ending. I don't want to go.
Stepping into his manager's
Now.
office, Stanley was once again
2
stunned
seconds.
to
Let's
discover
have a
not an
look.
indication of any human life.
Right, the boss's office.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation,
there
Stanley
was
may
one
have
up here,
broken down into an emotional
which I think
dumpster
we
fire,
got. It was
if not
past
for
the
soothing
keypad.
presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guide, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the
and the
bucket
door
knew all
opens.
along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical
What smells like onion
explanation.
rings?
I think it's curry.
Onion ring curry.
No, not onion ring curry. But that sounds cool. Right, down we go. I used to know what they all were and now I've forgotten. It wouldn't be in the escape, would it?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large
been
door
that
that
way.
read Mind
we try
Control
this way?
Facility. Although this
so we got
passageway
that
had the
one.
word
I'm
escape
honestly
on it,
just looking
the
at where
truth
that last
was
one is.
that at the end of
I
this
don't
hall,
remember,
Stanley and the
unfortunately.
bucket would both meet a
Which is a
violent
shame,
death.
because I used to.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Oh, cat wants out. Go on then. Real quick.
Run.
It still smells like onion rings. Do you want me to hop down?
It's up to you. Oh, what door was that? That's 2.
Whee! Sorry, I don't remember where these are, folks. There is a cool thing here with the bucket though, so at least you get to see that.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind
How
and the
many
soul
have
at
you
ease
gotten
to
in the
embrace
cargo
bucket.
hold?
But what use is a
Why is
sense
it
of
two?
ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
Well, there's that
This
one
is what
that's
Stanley
off the
thought to
edge.
himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting
think you
so
might got
much
this
time
one, don't you?
carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Butt clenching
In
moment
a
there.
single visceral instant,
Yeah, he's
the
trying to find
bucket's
one of his
life
last
came to
figurines
an
because I
end
actually
as
don't
it was
remember.
crushed violently to death.
I don't know. Oh, the red and blue door.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find.
Alright, so it might be that one then.
Let me just do this real quick then.
It was a shame
The
the
Stanley
death of such a
Parable.
magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way,
41.
but this one stood above the rest.
If we're
It was
quick
a
enough.
glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. Welcome to the grand exhibit. You're standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. Okay, whatever.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to
25,
claim
but
it
that's
for
more
his
than
own?
25.
Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than
Oh,
Stanley
God, where are you
will
now?
ever be
We're in the
his
bucket
short
museum.
life?
Oh, okay. Doesn't even question. Really now, bucket museum, yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Alright.
That's enough buckets. You've seen the original museum ending, so you kind of know
Just a
where it's
step
going with the
through
bucket.
This door, Stanley thought to himself. That's
Do we
all
need
I need.
to take the bucket
If
or
I
not?
can make it through this
You
door,
don't have
I can
to.
make it through them all.
Sorry.
Alright, so when you get to the doors, take the right one like you're going to the cargo hold.
Okay,
When
this
Stanley
one.
came
Yep,
to a set
through
of
the-
2 open
through the
doors, this was
lounge.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
That's what I was
knew
trying to
perfectly
find.
well.
I ended up
Perhaps
at
he
the
wanted to stop
intervention
by the
stick because I couldn't
employee
remember where
lounge
the red and
first,
blue doors were.
just to admire it.
Alright,
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too much, but eager to get back to business, Stanley
Okay.
took the
Go
first
to the
open
cargo
door
room.
on his left.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley was so bad at following directions,
You
it's
go on the
incredible
yellow
he wasn't
platform.
fired years ago.
get
And you're-
on the lift.
Yep. And then you're going through.
Look, Stanley,
That
I
door.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Okay.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all the time.
Oh,
Really?
Punk
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero
Speedy bum time.
consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to
Towards
convince
the
you of this, but I really do want to help
Downstairs.
you, to
And then
show
look
you
to your
something
right.
beautiful.
Door.
Look, let me prove it.
Last
And there it
Stanley
is. The last
Stiggly Wiggly.
Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley.
This is a real
Is
accomplishment.
a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements,
I have no
you've
idea, man.
insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say,
Well
it's
done.
done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Alright. So that's all I really wanted to do. So, what are we at?
43, 44.
Did you want to end this one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Alright then.
Alright, we'll end this one here then, yeah?
Alright then. See you in a bit.
Alright, see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.